All right, y'all read the title. We're gonna talk about 10 mistakes that people typically make, and when they're trying to cut, even if you might be lifting hard and you think you're dieting hard as well. So I'm gonna break this video up in sections. It's not gonna be too long, but I'm gonna break it up into sections. So perfect example is like overeating on like a weekend, right? So let's say that you're straight Monday through Friday, but like you go out on a weekend, and obviously when you see a menu, it doesn't say like, oh, this bento bowl is 1,000 calories. You have no way of knowing. So you might think, oh, I'm gonna order like two of them. Like my maintenance is 3,000, but you gotta keep in count the drinks you might get, the sauces and the stuff, and all the small miscellaneous things that you might potentially think. Granted, I'm not saying stop living your life because you only have one life, but you also got to realize like one small thing can change a whole like 5 days worth of progress. I kind of mentioned it in the beginning, but liquid calories, and that's another thing I've also realized. Like a perfect example of me, when I get sandwiches, right, I like to get white sauce, honey mustard, and chipotle mayo. Chipotle mayo is creamy, bro. Pause. And it's like that's at least an extra 200, 300 calories. So there's no way I could really be consistently having chipotle. Granted, I'm still cut losing, but I feel like if I try to cut chipotle mayo like back in like February or March, I might have seen a difference, especially because like the longer you cut, the harder it is. So right now for me, when it comes to sauces, the only sauce I'm gonna have is white sauce and hot sauce, because hot sauce has like 10 calories. It doesn't have anything crazy. Underestimating your maintenance. One thing about me is when I put in my maintenance, I like to go to three different websites to see. So it says typically I get my maintenance as 3,300 to 3,400, somewhere in that. But like some people just like estimate, and you can't really estimate that because like you might be eating in a surplus, and you might not be realizing that like, oh, the fact that you're eating in a surplus is why like your weight thing is linear, is stagnant, or it's not like going the way it is. Also, weight loss isn't like it's not linear. Like it comes in phases. Like especially for me, like I look big in this one, but especially for me, like when it comes to like, because right now I'm trying to maintain as much strength as I can as I was doing it, because I feel like I could lose weight a lot faster. But for me, I also want to be able to like still bench plus 315 once I get a little lower, and I only really have like another 10, 15 to really lose. Another thing, this is probably my biggest issue: sleep. If your sleep is bad, your cortisol is gonna go up. Your body's gonna restore more water. It's gonna raise your hunger and hormones, and you're gonna recover slowly. Like if you have a bloated look, you're probably not fat. Sometimes it might be inflammation. A perfect example for me is no matter what I do, like my body on average will sleep for 6 hours and 36 minutes. The reason why I know this is because I track it. So like my watch stays on for I want to say damn near 23 hours a day. Like only take it off once, which is probably why it has a mark. But the life I live. Anyway, so that's section one of this video, right? So for section two, we're gonna talk about like potential things that you might not track throughout your day, right? Perfect example is your drinks. Like for me, I like to track my calories. It helps me stay like rationalized when I'm doing things. Not everybody likes that though, so you gotta like really find what works for you in a sense, right? So let's say you're tracking all week and y'all go out, but you forget to add your sauces. It's like I mentioned, Chipotle mayo is deadly. Y'all don't and white sauce too. And to be honest, like I can go off naming sauces, and obviously Chick-fil-A sauce. I used to love Chick-fil-A sauce, but Chick-fil-A sauce is fattening. Like I'm really going at a tangent now, but I really can't have Chick-fil-A sauce and still expect me to make progress. I can't wait until I go back on my bulk. Then I can actually start having Chick-fil-A sauce. I haven't had Chick-fil-A sauce since I want to say summer of last year. Like that's crazy. So yeah, inconsistent tracking. So like it'll be the littlest things, and you won't even realize that, oh, because I had such and such, I'm 200, 300 over. And if you do that over a prolonged period of time, you're done. You're finished. Because 500 calories is what on average you should be aiming for, right? You do that 7 days, that's a pound. I wouldn't recommend anything more for people, just because you want consistent like weight loss where you're not suffering long term. Another thing I also want to mention: overestimating your workouts. Yeah, Apple Watch might say you burn 800 calories. It's always lying. Well, I don't think it's always lying, but it's not necessarily as accurate per se, right? Which is why, like, You want to like underestimate how much you burn and overestimate how much you ate, just so like you're in a good spot. So perfect example with me is what I like to do is I'll go on a different website. I don't even use my watch per se. So I have a different website. I'll probably link it if I remember. Where it's like if it says I burn, if I walk 17,000 steps, that's about 1,000 calories for someone of my stature. But obviously everybody's stature is different. So like if I remember, I want to link it in the web and down below so you guys can like potentially use that to see. But yeah, that's one. Weight scale obsessing, not trend obsessing. Your scale went up by 2 pounds. Look at the average. Another thing is too, like throughout this whole weight loss journey, I'm really realizing I hate the scale. Because for me, granted, I know what my issues are, but at least for me, like the scale will go up like at least 3 to 5 pounds, but that's just because of like how late I eat. Like if I ate like a little earlier, I think I'd be fine personally. But that's just because of how I am and how my life is set up. But that's another story for another day. So another thing is patience is a virtue. I think I say that daily. Patience is a virtue. But what's it called? You can't change up something and expect to see results. Fat loss is a slow thing. Consistency is key. A perfect example is there's a quote where it says, "I fear the man not who tried everything, is that he did the same thing 1,000 times." Like, granted, you might be like, you know how the people are like, I want to be a jack of all trades, right? Which isn't a bad thing, but you want to work on what you're naturally good at. So that's one thing I could say. So like, if you're gonna do a new program like PL split upper, or you want to do per body group, try that for at least 3 months or at least a month. You won't know how it works till you really try. Another thing is, if you're working out and the only type of cardio you get is within your workouts, you're playing yourself. Bare minimum you should be striving for is 8 to 10,000. I'm lying. 12 to 15. I'm not gonna be easy with you guys. Like you guys can generally do this. Like if this is something you want, like your steps are important. And another thing is too, when you're stressed out, that plays a role. That's also probably another issue with me because I'd be stressed out. But like stress is a killer. Like, and that goes for everything in life. Stress is killing. But anyway, these are just a couple reasons, but that might be why you're not getting leaner. It's not your genetics, it's not your workouts, it's not your diet. It's the small things that really ruin like your momentum long term. If you want me to like go into detail about any of the things I just mentioned, don't hesitate to let me know. Leave a comment. Like, let me know if this helped. I want us to like look great. If not this summer of 2026. Anyway, that's all. Hope you guys have a good one.